Hi everyone, Donna here. Yes, I'm struggling with the camera today. That's kind of what happens, I guess, when you're a very small business and I'm kind of limited to what is right here in my office. I don't have a cinematographer, I don't have graphic designers. This is really all me, and then I have some bookkeepers that work for me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about really about management and about how critical it is. I really wish that camera would focus. There we go. How critical it is to measure in construction. Now, I come from a family. My dad did a lot of repairs and maintenance on the home. He had a professional degree. He actually had a master's degree. Has a master's degree. He had a white collar job. We were solidly upper middle class when I was a kid, living in Seattle. And so I was always back up a little bit. And yet he's the one that did the repairs and the maintenance on our home and our yard and our garage and everything like that. Now his generation, that's what they did. So it wasn't really a shock to me that Dad did this. He also grew up on a farm. So there was a lot of building and repairing that went on. Now, one of the things he always would talk about, and if you talk to anybody who likes to do woodworking, and Dad did some of that, or construction or anything, it's measure twice, cut once. Now, I want to talk about that in a business setting. It is really easy, and as I mentioned in the description for the video, most people just kind of sleepwalk their way through life. I don't really know how else to explain it, but they just kind of hope that by the end of the month they still have money in the bank. And it's just as bad if they're business owners, unless they are huge, massive businesses and the lawyers and accountants have kind of taken over. The small business owner who's really trying to figure this out as they go, and that is most small business owners, whether you believe it or not. They are trying to figure things out as they go. They're reaching out for help maybe, but they don't have a really firm grasp of the simple idea of a budget. I was going to put this under the accounting playlist, but I really think it's better as coaching because this goes for everything in your life. Okay, I want to talk about this as far as everything in your life is concerned. And I don't want to spend too much time on it because I like these videos to be kind of short. Also because I'm streaming this at 4:00 p.m. on the Friday before Labor Day, and I would like to be done. So one of the things that I like to do personally, you can see the board over there. You shouldn't be able to see the numbers on the board. But I like to make sure that I know what money is coming in, on what dates, what money needs to go out, on what dates, and I can forecast ahead of time to an extent. When you do forecasting like that, when you decide, I know this is overused and I know a lot of people disagree with me, but when you start to figure out that, oh, maybe I don't want to spend $100 a month on Starbucks, maybe I only want to spend $50 a month on Starbucks and I'm going to buy coffee for home or whatever it is. When you start making these decisions because you know what has been going on in the past, you can make thoughtful decisions about how you want your life to be in the future. And this kind of goes for not just your money, which of course that's my biggest concern because I'm an accountant, but also in relationships. You can't manage what you don't measure, is the saying. So if you are, in your marriage, if you're having regular date nights, if you're having regular sit-down talks where you talk about how things are going in the relationship and how your partner feels in the relationship and where you want to go, then you can start managing. If you're just floating through and you're hoping that everything is going well because nobody's complaining, so it must be okay, then there's no way to know how do I want to put this? Then if things start to go sideways, it's a surprise. But if you are proactively dealing with things, then it's proactive. It's easy to deal with. Because my focus, of course, is business and money. So I talk about this in a business setting. If I'm already looking ahead, if you're already looking ahead and you're saying we're in the middle of growth, and you can see over the past few periods, whether it's months or quarters or weeks or years or whatever you're using, that you're achieving a certain amount of growth or you're achieving a certain amount of contraction, you're measuring this, you know about it, you can see it coming up, you can then make decisions for your business based on what you're seeing, what you've measured. Most people don't do this. They don't bother to measure. They just kind of wing it. And so they don't get the results that they wanted. Sometimes you do have to take some risks. We have a friend, Ryan Stewman, who, by the way, I like him a lot. He's awesome to follow on social media because he has these wonderful stories. But he talks about early on, he knew how much he needed to make, and he knew how much money he did not have, and he took a huge risk on advertising, which paid off massive dividends for him. So it depends on how risk averse you are, but that might be something. But you have to go into this with knowledge and with information. Like I said, most business owners don't do this. They go in on a wing and a prayer. So this is probably going to be the theme for the next couple of weeks. You can't manage what you don't measure. We are going to talk about this quite a lot because the measurement of what success looks like to you, and that is where it starts. You may not want to have a $10 billion company. You may be thrilled to get to 6 figures, or you may measure success by whether or not you have the money to be home with your kids. That was how I measured it for a very long time. And now all of my kids are grown up and out of the house, so I am adjusting what success looks like to me so that when I achieve it, I know that I've reached it. That's all I have for today. I'm going to discuss this more. We will come back after Labor Day. I apologize for the long hiatus, but it's been a little bit, I've been a little distracted. That's all I'm going to say about that. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Labor Day, and I will look forward to talking to you next week. See you soon.